Hey guys, it's a little nippy out today. If anybody tells you that Texas doesn't get cold, you can tell them that they're wrong. Sometimes that wind rivals the wind that we would get in Maine. I had to come inside because it is so cold and the wind is so strong I can't record anything outside. So once again, I'm in the shed. Big surprise. So today I wanted to bring a little update about a problem we're having. And I just realized I'm holding this crooked, sorry. Pretty much all of our dogs, there are 6 in total. 1 is a foster dog, and then we have 5 that we are, our dogs. One of them is a boxer named Axel. I actually did a video on all of them and then I never uploaded it. And Axel was extremely abused his first year of life. There were other dogs involved. We're not sure. We know he was tied to a tree and we know he was starved. From what we understand, his previous owner would throw food out and the other dogs could get to it and he really couldn't. So he would have to fight whatever dogs he could, to get to the food he could reach. So we knew when we got him, he is quite food aggressive to other dogs, including the ones that he's used to. So that's an easy fix. My hood is driving me crazy right now. There's hay caught, so it's actually making my neck itch. Easy fix, we just fed him separate from all the other dogs. That's not a big deal. We knew he was unpredictable with other dogs, and we actually got him on a trial basis. Tim is the one who he belongs to Tim. So we got him on a trial basis, and we took probably the longest we've ever taken introducing a dog to the other dogs and to the whole family. We did have one issue after he had integrated into the family, where my eldest son came home unannounced, walked in the door, and Axel attacked him. Basically, he was protecting the house. He bit my son once. We yelled his name and he immediately stopped. So, speaking of, that was an issue that, we were now aware of, that we could not have anybody come into the house that he did not know unless he was locked away and got to know them first. By the end of the visit, he was best buds with my son. Over time, however, I think it took a year, he started getting reactive towards Kate's dog, Kate's husky Topher. And it got to the point where if we hadn't planned on moving down to this land, we were going to have some serious issues, because it started off with just little quick spats that, if you have a lot of dogs, they tend to happen, but it started escalating to full out attacks where we would have to pull them off of each other. We weren't sure who was starting it, but we suspected Axel, since he has issues with other dogs in the shelter and the rescue. But we're a little surprised because he and Topher had gotten along great. And then, yeah. So we moved down here and the issue was basically solved. And before adding Bo and Merida, we thought about it a bit first. And I thought, they're puppies, so he probably won't view them as a threat. We brought Bo in first. And we were very careful because he was a puppy, a husky mix puppy. and we weren't sure how Axel would react. Well, Axel loved him. Axel thought he was the greatest thing ever. He played with him. He slept with him. I mean, obviously we didn't try to eat the food issue because we already knew that wasn't going to go over well. So, we've had Bo for what, 2-3 years now. And then we introduced Merida a year ago. And it was the same thing. Everybody was, oh, it's a puppy. It's a new playmate. Everything was great. And then a few months ago, there's always those little spats, but a few months ago it started to escalate between Axel and Bo. And it got to the point where we had 2 attacks 2 days in a row, and these were bad. There was blood involved. They were both had blood all over them. It took forever for us to get Axel and Bo separated. The last fight they had, I was home alone. They were outside, so I had a hard time getting to them because they were running all over the fenced area. But by the time I got Axel's collar, he had Bo, once again, he did this the day before, he had Bo by the throat and was shaking. He was trying to rip his throat out. The day before, he actually, hi Savannah, horse wants to get fed. The day before, he actually popped Bo's collar off doing that. It was obvious on the last attack that Axel was going to kill Bo. Bo has high anxiety when he's separated from me. And we had to move him to my daughter's camper, which has not been fun because he melts down constantly to the point where I'm going to contact the vet. We tried box rescue remedy and it worked a little bit, but not enough. His anxiety level is just way too high. Kate's fiance is visiting, and Bo is just terrified of him, and we have no idea why because they've never even been together. Bo's just not handling it well at all. So we discussed several options concerning Axel. Our first option is we're going to take him to the vet. I'm calling tomorrow because today's New Year's, so the vet's not open. And we're calling the vet tomorrow and getting an appointment, having his blood work done, making sure there's nothing wrong with his thyroid because boxers can have that issue. We're going to have his teeth checked, and he does have a rash going, but the rash might be flea related, so we're going to just do a health check, and he needs his rabies anyhow, so we're gonna see what's going on with that and talk to the vet about options, even if we have to medicate him. Our other concern is we have beware of dog signs on our gates. We have our main gate and then the gas company, because we have an easement across the quarter of the property. The gas company has a gate, and we put our beware of dog sign on the main gate because we figured that's where people would come in. A neighbor who was 2 properties down, unfortunately she and her husband were killed in a car accident a couple of years ago, but she came over with her daughter who was about 12. We didn't know that the camper was off level at the time. This is before the RV cover. They knocked on the door. Axel started barking. All the gates were shut and chained, and she opened the chain and came in. The door opened when Axel hit it, and he bit her daughter. As soon as he realized it was a child, he wanted to play with her, and I'm like, you stupid moron, she doesn't want to play with you because you just bit her. She's terrified of you now. The mother did not blame us at all. She said the dog was doing his job, but I have an issue with a dog who attacks first before any provocation. And he is showing more aggression towards our elderly neighbor when he walks by. So we're at the point where we're quite concerned that if he manages to get off the property, he might attack somebody. So we've got some decisions to make. And now he also has started doing those little mini spats with Merida. And Merida is so high energy that she's feeding into it. They're feeding into each other because she is actually getting a little more aggressive, and healers can be on the aggressive side to begin with. So we've got a situation that we need to nip in the bud before somebody gets hurt. Or Axel kills Merida because she's a healer Aussie mix. She's not very big. The only reason Bo survived is because he's a husky mix and he has all that fur on him. Merida doesn't have that much fur. So if Axel decides to go for her throat, he will probably succeed. So after the vet visit, even if the vet says that he has some medical issues that could be making it worse, Tim and I are talking about either one of those rent-to-own sheds or building a shed for him and Axel to move into. But our concern is still that his aggression seems to be on the rise. And we'll talk with the vet, but there's a possibility I hate punishing a dog because of the way he was raised. But we can't risk him attacking anybody either. So there's a chance that we might have to put him down. We're going to try to avoid that. We're going to rebuild the fencing because it's actually weak fencing now. We're going to rebuild the fencing, and we're going to do what we can to protect everybody else. But we're concerned that even if I get Merida a new home, which we have discussed because she needs a lot more training than I can do right now, we're concerned that he's going to turn his aggression on Remy, who he's actually never ever had an issue with. But we don't know what's causing him to escalate, so we don't know if he'll go after Remy or not. And Remy is so low-keyed that he would probably just lay there. Actually, he wouldn't, because I've seen him put Merida in her place a time or two, but... So, it sucks that people get animals and then mistreat them to the point that they get like this. We've had him for 4 or 5 years now, and we've always done our best to manage the aggression. And we've always had boxers from rescues, and this is the first time. I keep looking out the window in case anyone wonders why I'm looking that way. I'm actually watching him because he's out with Merida and Remy in the fence. And we actually had an issue. This is the sunscreen that I use in the summer to keep the heat down in the shed for the chickens. And one of the little birds got in here and got wrapped up, I guess, in the shade cloth and died. I found the little body yesterday. I was like, oh. So they like to fly in through the door and eat the chicken food, which I don't really care too much about. But as far as Axel, yeah, we're not sure which way this is going to go. And this is Tim's dog, and he actually brought up the fact that he may have to get put down. But if anyone has any tips, tricks, or suggestions, message us, put it in the comments. What is he barking at? That's Axel barking, so... Oh, I think he's barking at the cat. And that's another concern. Nani walked next to the gate, not realizing the dog was out, and he barely missed her through the fencing. She moved faster after she realized, but he came really close to getting her in his mouth, and we've discovered he has a very high prey drive, so we're a little concerned about him killing her as well. Yeah, so I'll call tomorrow, talk to the vet about both dogs, because Boa's anxiety is just off the charts right now, and see what suggestions the vet has for Axel. And if it's medical, maybe one with medication or taking care of whatever it is, he might calm down again. But either way, Tim is going to have to move into a different area. So we're going to have to get a shed or build a shed or get another camper or something. He doesn't really want a camper. Uh-oh. But anyhow, yeah, I'll keep you guys updated and talk to you later. Have a great day.